Hi, babies. I have still got it in my heart, these observations about verses that we run with, that we think we mean one thing and they don't necessarily mean that. Specifically about references and implications stated in verses and chapters. Well, that means there's a whole lot of people going to hell. So I want to address that again. In my last video, I talked about that there were some folks that weren't able to receive the preaching of Paul, so they were by default going to hell. And so that evangelical lens is kind of on this other text that I'm going to kind of draw out here a little bit. And when we're talking along these lines, I got to I've got to preempt an argument that I know is coming, that, well, if people aren't going to hell, then why did Jesus die on the cross? He's got to save us from the fires of hell and damnation. Well, I want to address that off the bat, because if not going to hell is the only reason you're a Christian, and if saving people from hell is the only reason that Jesus came to die on the cross, that's kind of escapist. That's like, there's a selfish interest involved there. We're going to save our asses, and God's provided a way for us to save our asses, and we better get with the program, because otherwise we're going to suffer damnation. Well, actually, Jesus came to place man back into dominion over the creation. And so it's not about what we get away from, it's what we are delivered into. That he has delivered us from the kingdom of darkness, the power of darkness. It's not even a kingdom. Satan doesn't have a kingdom. It's just the power of darkness. The power of darkness to keep your hearts and your minds darkened so that you can't see the light of the glory of the gospel of Christ shining from the face of Jesus. So when we are delivered into the kingdom of his Son, of God's Son, we are coming to a place where we are exercising kingdom authority on the earth, when we are manifesting the sons of God. Jesus is the firstborn among many brethren, and we as Christians that walk in kingdom authority are awakened to our place in that kingdom as sons, out of darkness, realizing who is our Father, what went into our inception, for what purposes he put us here. And it's not about getting out of here. It's not about Armageddon. It's not about Armageddon out of here, as Kim Clement used to say. It's about being delivered into a place of dominion. And so when I come across a verse or a whole text, 1 Corinthians chapter 6, I get to the place in verses 10 or 11 where it says, do you not know that the unrighteous will not inherit the kingdom of God? And then it goes through the whole litany of these people are in and these people are out. So if you're a reviler, if you're a liar, if you're a swindler, if you're a thief, if you're a homosexual, if you're a fornicator, you ain't in. And so by default, we are coming to that verse, which incidentally has been used as a clobber verse to oppress homosexuals. Never mind the fact that there have been numerous instances, myself having endured the brunt of some of the reviling, actually, that when you are actually not cut out according to the cloth of the heteronormative standards, that you may be subject to some reviling. So it seems really curious to me how there is so much reviling about something about homosexuals and fornicators and those that abuse themselves with mankind and blah, 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 those that cleave so tightly to those clobber verses, while it says that the revilers are actually the ones that are lumped into the same group with those temple prostitutes and ritual offenders. I mean, get into the meaning of what those verses mean, actually. In 1 Corinthians chapter 6, it talks about some ritual practices, actually. It's not talking about necessarily an orientation. But regardless, it's not about labeling. It's not about a delineation. It's not about designating this person here and this person there. It's, well, you got that label, you must be going to hell. So I got to shake that evangelical crap off of me. But I mean, it's not even about those labels and those designations. It's that whole chapter, putting it in context, is about who is walking in kingdom authority and who is not. It's like there were skirmishes and there were disagreements amongst the early church, and there were minds that were yet to be enlightened. Thank goodness for the Apostle Paul to come along and admonish these Corinthian believers. Don't you know that you're going to judge angels? So why can't you judge these matters yourselves? And it's like there's a place, a kingdom reality. There's a manifestation of the sons of God that the creation is compelled to receive, to be liberated by our presence here as the sons of God. And that's what he's getting at. It's like we are to take dominion. Christ has opened the path not for us to get out of hell. He has opened the path for us to take dominion over the creation again. So basically the point being in that verse about, don't you know that the unrighteous will not inherit the kingdom of heaven? It's not our job to figure out who's righteous and who's unrighteous. It's our job to determine whether or not that we are awakened to the righteousness of Christ, and if we are or if we are not walking in kingdom authority. You can throw labels around all you want. You can put labels on me if you'd like. However, I know what I walk in. I know that I'm a son, regardless of what designation that may be put upon me. That's all transcended by my role as a son. That's why I'm very, very leery about accepting labels. I'll be very transparent about things that are in my life and, you know, my quirkiness and how I'm wired and what makes me tick. I mean, I can be really transparent about those things, but if I start not walking in kingdom authority, then you may have a case to say, well, he's not going to inheriting the kingdom of heaven. But don't stick the flipping labels on anybody. Don't throw these things around. That whole text in 1 Corinthians chapter 6 is not about figuring out who's in and who's out. It's an appeal for us to awaken to the kingdom authority that we have, for us to walk in this stuff and to take dominion over the creation.